Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, I'll be very, very happy to, because this is me coming here to say it's more like my experience with smart learning and some kind of like testimony, something that um, everyone here listening um, can actually look at themselves and see it like if I can do it, I mean you can do it. It's I'm a testimony. I would say that. So let me start my story by going back into what I did my years. I was able to my master's in my master's in administration, and then I started working with a company as a production support. And then I worked with the company for some years, I think like 5 years, but I wasn't really like what are the jobs that are in demand? Like I think the information technology has a lot of roles out there. So and I just wanted to get on that because I find myself like more interested in things in technology than just management stuff. And in 2018, somehow I had to stop my job, and for like 3 years, close to 3 years, I was out of job. And if I would do my CV, apply for jobs, go on interviews. I thought I was like the best thing for me would be to like do some sort of like a networking job because I have the experience of like managing a cyber cafe. So I thought, let me do my CV up. I'll go for interviews. If you can get like a starting role, like even if it's like something like 16,000 or 18,000, just to start on get on the ladder, I'll go for interviews. I wouldn't even get past the first stage of those interviews. I'll be heartbroken. I'll come back to my CV again, do my CV up again, and apply. So there was a day that a friend of mine in 2020, a friend of mine was moving home and he needed help. So I said, I offered myself to help him. So whilst we were like moving things, he looked at me and said, Olumide, what about you getting like a 9 to 5 job? Are you? I said, yeah, I've been applying. I've not just been talking, but I've just been applying, but I've been very unlucky. So he asked me what actually interests me. I said, well, I actually want to go into security, IT security, but I've been looking around, I've been checking videos on YouTube and all that, but I'm kind of lost. I really don't know where to start and how to get there. Someone I spoke with, another guy that I spoke with said, oh, start with networking. And then from networking, you can work your way into security. So, and that's what I've been doing. I want to sit for an exam. I've been reading up to do Security Plus. And he said, oh, why do you want to go for security? I think do you know what? There's this Nigerian guys. I mean, my wife did it. I think I'll get her to give you their contact number. Speak to them. They might be able to help. And I am forever grateful for that day because that is one of the key point of my testimony because me getting Mr. Wali's phone number on that day changed my life for good. So I called Mr. Wali. I told him about my experience. He asked me, and that's a good thing when there's a feeling of that one-on-one that it's just not about like getting on it. It's just something that he will speak to you about your journey and what you've been in before and look at some of your strength and then offer you like maybe sort of like a solution, like offer you options that you can do. So when I spoke to him and I said I was so keen on sitting for an exam because I thought, I mean, we Nigerians, we really think about qualification. I thought for me to get into that security, I've been looking at jobs on JobServe, like CW jobs, and I think I need to do some sort of exam. So we said, Mr. Wali, I remember that day, Mr. Wali said, do you know what? Hold on all this qualification. Try to learn because that's the thing that employers are actually looking for. What you know, rather than just your qualification. That there are so many people they've done like 5, 6 exams and yet they know nothing. When they go to interviews, they are found out. So to be honest with you, no offense, Mr. Wali, but I didn't really. Sorry, I think my room is dark. Let me Let me see if I can open my curtains and see if that would help. Sorry, guys. I think it's better now. Yeah.
It's better now.
Oh, yeah.
Much better. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, thank you. So, yeah, back to when I spoke to Mr. Wale. So, no offense, Mr. Wale, but when you told me on that day that I don't need to sit for an exam and I'll get a job, I didn't really believe. But because I just wanted to learn. So I just said yes. Well, I'll sit for the exam later. And as I speak to you right now, I have an exam that I booked with Azure exam. I've been postponing it because I've had no time to prepare for it. So I got on the training in 2021. I was part of the set of the January-March 2021 set. So, but the passion was there. I just wanted to like learn. I just thought, okay, what Mr. Wale told me is just like learn this thing. So I was eager to learn. So I joined the training, and the training is so, I mean, the guys there, they know what you're doing. There's a structure in place that as soon as you start, when you start learning, you want to learn more. I mean, if you're someone like me that wants to learn more, you're ready for questions. And there's one thing that Mr. Wale said when we wanted to start the program. He said, I don't know if it's Mr. Wale or Mr. Sugar, said, there are no silly questions, and I was prepared for that. They're not going to laugh at you. I just wanted to ask my questions just to know more. And when I get the answers, I mean, the YouTube is there, but the YouTube is different because when you go on YouTube, everyone is just there. You don't even know the right one and the right answers. And even when you watch those videos, sometimes you even get lost more. But when I get lost, I come back and I put my questions across and I'll learn more. So a few months into the training, I thought I've learned a lot. And I spoke to my wife. I said, I think I'm ready. I want to test the waters and see what is out there. I didn't even want to tell Mr. Wale that I wanted to start applying for jobs. But I just wanted to say, let me just like see what's out there and see if I can test myself and see, okay, have I learned enough to be able to go for an interview and not feel broken? So I took my CV and I started walking my way. And I think I spoke, one of the trainers said a few things about how you can prepare your CV and the things that things that you can include on your CV and make your CV attractive. So I think I took those words and I made my CV in a way that I can apply for particular jobs. So I started getting phone calls. I couldn't believe it. Like I was getting phone calls, and so for some I'll get past the first stage, for some I'll get to the second stage. So it felt really good. But one point I wanted to raise here is that for some interviews that I got to the next stage, I would contact Mr. Sugar. And the thing is, you think, okay, for the amount of money I've paid, for people to be ready, like there's a panel like ready to help me, and I'm not paying a dime, I'm not paying any cash to them, and they're just ready to help me, like prepare for the interviews out of their busy lives. I think it's something that, I mean, it's priceless. It's just something that you would see in maybe a mother and a father that wants to see your child do well. And the questions that would, I mean, I did one of those interviews, and I was shaking because it felt like real, and it was good because some of the things that were asked, there was one particular question that someone asked me there that it was something that do with vendor management, and he was saying, "Oh, you've not done this," and I looked at myself like, "Wow, Olumide, you've not prepared." And then I went back to the board again, started reading more, and the materials that you get, I mean, those materials, if you want to go out there and start buying them, is worth more than $2,000. It's worth like even more than $5,000. But the materials are there. I mean, even without you go the face-to-face one-on-one lecture, just reading those materials will get you like halfway into how you're going to get there. And I also want to encourage someone here that when you're being taught, listen to their experiences, because some of the things that were shared there, I took them as some of my experiences of how I can do a job. I remember one particular one that I went for an interview, and I think they asked me something, and I gave them an example of one. I've forgotten her name. I think she was doing auditing, and she said some of the things that she would do when she go for Obi. Yeah, Obi. Yes. she said something and I made it in my interview such that even when I went for the next interview, they remembered. And what she said was that when you have a leavers and movers and leavers and joiners, that she would go there and check and say, let me see the last time this was updated. And I took on some of those things. Every word that was said there, I took those recordings in my head. And when I go for interviews, I say those things so that to convince them that, listen, I can do this job. To cut the long story short, I'll tell you that on my last interview, I did 4 interviews, and one of the interviews that I had to call Mr. Wale, and we had to pray together. And that's another thing you don't pay for. You see someone that a brother that will want to see you go well, want to see you go further. That it felt like he was holding my hands when we were praying, because I was shaking that I'm about to speak to the CEO of the company, and I was worried that maybe they found out that this guy is not really, he doesn't have the experience, But 2 weeks into the job, I still get support from the SmartLearning family. That's the beauty of the family. The word that the lady said, that she said, Sister Kemi said, that they were like a family. They're like a family, because if I need any questions, I go on there, I raise the question, I get people offering to help. The last one I put on there, within 5 minutes, Mr. Wale said, can you call me? And I spoke to him. I was on the job, and I spoke to him, and I gave my boss the answer right there. And he was really impressed, and he said, oh, we should be doing this more often. I mean, we're having interview, we need to have meetings every week. And I'm like, And my story so far, I just want to tell people out there that it's not about the money. All you need is just like the interest, wanting to learn, and the passion there. And believe it or not, the jobs are out there.
Absolutely.
They're out there, but you just need to. And the thing is, some of them, I remember one of the interviews I went for, the last interview I went for, the lady said, we know that you don't, we're not expecting you to know everything. She said that to me, and that just gave me like kind of encouragement that, okay, they're not looking for someone that's a junior, like someone that's like very good, that's got years of experience. They just want to see that you know what you can learn, and you know what you know what you're doing. And I want to really say thank you again to the SmartLearning community. I mean,
welcome.
I can go on and on. Like, this is not like me preparing a speech. I'm raw as it is, and I'm telling everyone there that, listen, it works.
It works. Yeah.
It works. It works.
Thank you.